Hi guys, nice to see you all again. As you can see, we've got Ashley Cole here, a coach with our England men's under-21s. He's here to preview our fixture against Georgia tomorrow evening. Same as usual for match day -1. We will do a section at the beginning as live, and then we'll go into an embargoed section for 10:30 this evening. So shall we start the live section with JD from Sky?
How are you, first of all, man?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I think it's interesting to kind of have this friendly fixture at this moment in time in terms of integrating with the team. But there's been so many changes in the team, and listening to Lee talk about wanting to challenge the squad at this moment in time when Emil left the setup. Does the same now apply again now that Connor's left the setup as well?
It does, yeah. You know, I think this group is very competitive with a lot of high quality players, and yeah, it is an opportunity to maybe give some minutes to players who's not played as much, one for their clubs, but also within this environment. So again, it gives us another opportunity to see the high quality of them, let them perform on a big stage, and again play away from home in a hopefully a hostile environment. Again, it's always learning and developing, which is great for these boys.
Can you talk to us about Connor's quality? Because we're seeing it in the Premier League consistently, sort of week in, week out at Crystal Palace. We've seen him, the energy that he produces in an England shirt, but he's obviously made that call up now to the senior team. What is it, the qualities that you see working with him?
Firstly, I think his mentality has been great. I think the call up has been coming to the senior team. I think he's showed his qualities within the season. He's been a big player for Crystal Palace, and one of the leaders of that group now. And again, he comes here very humble and willing to work and develop and try to get better. He leads this group very well. And yeah, you speak about his qualities all over the pitch. He's willing to run for players without the ball, the unselfish runs. He's got good quality and maturity on it. And I think the call up was well deserved. And, it just proves that there is a pathway for these kids. I think, Gareth has also mentioned that he's monitoring a lot of players in our group. And, if they keep playing well for their clubs and of course, turning up here and competing and playing and training well, then there's opportunities for them. So again, we see Emil and now Connor and hopefully, in the next camps, who knows, if these boys keep playing well, hopefully we'll get a few more up, because ultimately that's our job.
Do you think the pathway is a lot better now than it was when you were playing? I mean, obviously a lot of players didn't make that transition from under-21s from your days, but I just feel like we're seeing it at such a younger age at this moment in time. Do you believe that the progression is a lot quicker now?
Yes, I would say yes. I think, it's very difficult for managers to pluck, young players from the 21s and expect them to, perform at the high level. But I think with Gareth, he sees them week in, week out. He's around the country watching these players with Steve Holland as well. And obviously they've seen something that they like and they feel they can, he can add something to the squad, which I think is brilliant. But again, the pathway is there. Gareth has already said that and mentioned that. And these boys have to keep competing on a Saturday, keeping that shirt on their back ultimately, because the chances are there, and hopefully it will give a big buzz for the players. Certainly in this group with the 21s, there is hope. The manager is watching, and again, their messages we always relay back to the players that training, we're always giving the messages back to Gareth and his staff, how good the players are training and the application. And again, they have to bring that quality also into the games, and they'll get an opportunity, which is great.
You asked for a hostile environment sort of tomorrow night. I'm guessing it's all part of the sort of a learning curve, because how important is this sort of fixture, knowing obviously with the 2023 Euro tournament where it's going to be hosted? How important is it for the settling in process and understanding sort of climate, the conditions and everything else around it?
Definitely. Well, again, mentioning when I was a player and got the opportunity to play in the 21s, and I think we did play Georgia as well, and it's hostile. Normally the pitches are not great, but we've been to the stadium. It's a fantastic stadium and great pitch. So these are challenges players have to get over, whether it is the pitch or the fans and the hostility in there. You know, can we play with control and you know, composure at times? And it's just figuring opposition out, and they'll get used to that coming here and having the opportunity to play against these teams. So again, we'll make a lot of changes, but there's a great opportunity and chance for the players not getting that many minutes to, you know, hopefully shine and produce a good quality match, just like the stadium.
My last question, Ashley, is just sort of a wider question. With the senior team playing tonight, I just want to know what your thoughts are in terms of their ambitions. You were part of what we call the golden generation, so I just want to know how you're feeling about sort of their hopes for their ambitions next year, which will be next winter, right? Yeah, of course, November. So yeah, next winter, how you see that team squaring up?
I think they'll do well. I think, listen, you know, they get to Euro final, and you know, whether they deserved it or not is another question. But for me to get to a final, I think was brilliant. You see what it did to the country. I think it definitely inspired a lot of the younger generation to be the next ones in line. And you know, I think Gareth has a great environment and a great culture there where players enjoy coming. We try to echo that and copy that within the 21s. So yeah, they have the quality. A lot of young players in that group with, you know, some mature leaders in there, and hopefully next time around we get the rub of the green and a little bit of luck within that. But no, I have faith in Gareth and, you know, the staff. I know they work tirelessly to try and improve every camp and of course every tournament. So hopefully we can go a step further and you know, be the ones that's holding a World Cup up, which will be fantastic for this country, and of course the players that's worked tirelessly to get there.
Thanks, man. It was good talking to you, man. We'll catch up tomorrow.
Thank you.
Cheers, JD. We'll go to Ian Abrahams at TalkSport next.
Hi Ash, how you doing?
Hi mate, how are you? You good?
Very well, thank you. Firstly, how are you enjoying coaching with the other 21s? I mean, are you enjoying it? You're excited about what you're seeing so far?
Yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing to be here and, you know, get to experience coaching elite young players. You know, me coaching for 2 years and getting this opportunity has been, you know, fantastic. So of course I have to thank the FA and of course Lee Cardley for giving me that opportunity. But no, it's been a brilliant kind of experience, a great learning curve. Definitely helped me develop in terms of, you know, where I want to go next. And learning off Lee, I think, is so far been brilliant. You know, get to coach every day I'm here and again, get to mingle and pick the brains of these young elite players. And, you know, me, hopefully at times give them details to develop, of course, but then, you know, get to that next level. So I think it's important that me and Jolene came in and tried to give our experiences of the game and little details for the players to then progress to the next level, which is, you know, senior football with England.
You'd have played in a fair few friendlies. I mean, senior level, they've been done away with now. We've got the Nations League because people kind of said, what's the point of a friendly? And do you kind of take that attitude tomorrow, or do you think this is absolutely important because of the finals being in Georgia?
No, it's important. Like I mentioned before, it's important that players, you know, one, get to work with us. And obviously we get to work with them. You know, the more we can come together and as a group and staff and players, you know, get our philosophy down, get our style of play down. You know, the players know what we expect from them. And of course, you know, whenever we're in and around these environments, it's making sure the players are ready to come to tournaments. So again, we spoke about Georgia being the host. So it was a great opportunity to come here, you know, see what it's about, see what hopefully we can go into. And again, just get more game time for players that maybe are not playing as much back in England or at their clubs. So yeah, it's more getting them in and around the squad and you know, getting them the feel of being in and around it, which I think is very important, whether it's a qualifier or friendly.
You were part of what was called a golden generation. I don't know whether you liked that tag or whether you hated that tag at the time. But would you say we're actually now in the golden generation? Because actually every time a player drops out, there's another one to take his place from the other 21s, like Emil Smith Rowe, like Conor Gallagher. You you know, if a right back dropped out, all 16 right backs dropped out, Max Aarons could play. Do you know what I mean? There always seems to be someone off that conveyor belt, and which never happened in your day. It was a good starting 11, but
yeah, no, totally agree, mate. I think, you know, the quality of the squads now and the level of the players is, you know, fantastic. I think, as you mentioned, you know, you've got an array of talent, whether it is in the 21s or in the senior team. A lot to choose from in terms of positions. But again, as a coach and managers, that's what you want. You want a lot of, you know, top quality players in each position. And again, you know, there's a lot of games through the season within, you know, England duty and playing for their club. So, you know, players will get opportunities. You talk about the right backs, so many quality right backs there. And, you know, as a manager, you have to deal with that, but ultimately you want these best players performing at club level, you know, testing each other, competing. And for me, that brings out the best in players. And again, we have an array of talent. If one gets injured, another top class player can fill in, and that goes, you know, the same as us. So again, it's something that we look at and you know, we want to try to develop these players and push them up, but so much quality in there. It is tough at times, but you know, you always want that as a coach.
my last question to you, we've got Steven Gerrard, your old teammate at Aston Villa. We've got Wayne Rooney, who of course you worked alongside at Derby, and you obviously played with him with England. Frank Lampard as well. Now, I'm not trying to say you want to move into management straight away, because you're obviously enjoying yourself with the under 21s. But has that enjoyment with the under 21s and what you've been doing at Chelsea, has that kind of changed your mind in any way about you managing in the Premier League somewhere down the line, Ash?
Yeah, it's, you know, definitely something I've been, you know, thinking about and taking really serious. I've tried to, you know, go through in terms of the coaching pathway, trying to learn and gain as much experience as I can and develop myself as a person, but also, you know, as a coach, and hopefully in a few years or a year, you know, who knows, to go into that managerial role. So again, still got a lot to learn, but ultimately being here in this great environment, learning off, again, great coaches and seeing the detail that goes into preparation, whether it's a session or, you know, traveling to a place like Georgia and really, you know, getting to grips with the bigger picture, I think has been brilliant for my development. And yeah, it's something I definitely want to get into. But again, still got a lot to learn, but I think being here is going to help me massively.
It's a great start, and really brilliant seeing you again. Keep well.
Cheers, mate. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, pal.
Thanks, Ian. We'll finish the live section with Dom Smith from englandfootball.org.
Hi, Ashley. I want to ask you about the pathway again. You've touched on it a little bit already. Do you think that playing for the under 21s, you know, sort of matters a bit more now than it did when you were a player? You know, do you think that it's more aligned with the senior team, and that doing well for the under 21s really can get you in the reckoning for the senior team kind of more than it ever has done before? Yeah,
I feel that. You know, is at times it's very difficult to, you know, for young players to get to grips with that. That's normal. But, you know, again, in line with the senior team, we're really trying to create an environment where players want to come, you know, are happy to come and enjoy it and learn and compete against, of course, top quality opposition at times. And the pathway is there. I think you see in the past weeks in terms of Emil and Connor. So joining up with us, of course, you know, you've got that opportunity now to, if Gareth needs a body or a player, and you're doing well at club and of course doing well here, you know, you've got that opportunity to join up and be in that group. So, you know, Emil done fantastic when he was here, and he got his well-deserved call-up, and the same with Connor. You know, great start in the Premier League. He's came here and continued his performances at a high level, and now he's got the opportunity to go up and train with the senior team and maybe get a first England cap. So the pathway is there, but you know, it's a lot of hard work. Players have got to be playing week in, week out for I feel their club to get the opportunity. We're trying to make this, you know, under 21 environment a tough one to get into also. So we have to be very understanding within that, but the opportunity and pathway is there. And as I mentioned before, Gareth is so open-minded to using our players, when needed, and giving opportunities for under 21s if they're playing and competing at the level he expects and wants.
Just two more from me, if that's all right. I wonder if I can just reflect on your England career. You had a very long England career, at senior level particularly. You know, what would you say are highs and lows of your England career that stand out to you?
I think it's always an honour to represent and play for your country. I probably didn't realise, to be honest, you know, getting 107 caps, what it actually meant to me now, you know, being on the other side of that and being a coach is one of the best feelings I've ever had as a player. You know, being able to, as I mentioned, play against all the countries in the world, you know, get the opportunity to travel and play in some amazing stadiums. And just, you know, as a young kid, you live your dream representing your country. So in terms of highs, I probably took it for granted in terms of my first cap, and then didn't really appreciate the 107 because I see it as, you know, something you have to do, you must do. It's normal to represent your country at the highest level. But there was a lot of hard work that, you know, got me there and went into that. So, you know, in terms of me now, you know, I try to sit on the other side of that and really try to push and emphasize the importance of wearing this, you know, t-shirt with 3 lines, and it means a lot. You live in a lot of young kids' dreams. So in terms of kind of bad memories, I reflecting now, I don't think I have any. It was a pleasure and an honor to represent my country. Of course, I would have liked to win something, but, you know, we all can't win and be that lucky. But in terms of wearing this badge, I think is a tremendous achievement. So to get an England cap, these players should really cherish that.
And just finally, in terms of your responsibility or your role as coach, do you see it as being partly tactical, but also, you know, you're in the unique position or relatively unique in that you perhaps have a responsibility as a role model as well, because naturally these young players are going to look up to you because, as you mentioned, you've got 107 England caps and not many people do.
Yeah, definitely. I think Lee, you know, really emphasized when I had the first meeting with him, you know, I wasn't coming here to be, you know, just a cheerleader, or I was going to take the tactical side of it, which I have. The set pieces, I've delivered that. So yeah, again, at times getting me out of my comfort zone, but I wasn't here just to be the cheerleader. So giving the real detail to the players in, you know, 1v1 defending or unit work, I've delivered that. But also, you know, the tactical work, Lee's gave me great license, and Jolien also, you know, to be free to express our thoughts, our feelings. If you want to change anything, he's very open to that. And yeah, the experiences so far have been great. You know, the players are very open to kind of maybe a different tactical mindset that they're used to coming from their clubs. A little bit of detail that we've tried to implement and give them, which put them out their comfort zone also. And, you know, so far it's working well. But still, we've got a long way to go in terms of, you know, the qualification. But I go back to the Czech Republic game. I think we really started to see, you know, the high tempo that we want to play, how we can control the game at times, and, you know, put our stamp and authority on games. And, you know, I think that was all the coaches coming together and trying to build our identity and style of play.
Cheers, Ashley. Best of luck tomorrow and going forward.
Cheers, Dom. We'll now move into the section embargoed for 10:30 this evening.